All right, good afternoon, everybody. We are joined by NC State contingent of head coach Wes Moore, graduate guard Kai Crutchfield, senior center Elisa Canane, and graduate guard Reina Perez. Just a couple ground rules here. We'll start off with an opening statement from Coach Moore. Then questions can be directed to the student athletes, and then Coach Moore will remain up here for some questions. There is a Zoom component to this press conference, so for our Zoom crowd, please go ahead and use the raise hand function if you have a question, and we'll call on you if there is time. A reminder that locker rooms are closed to the media this year. Still photography in here is permitted, but if you are interested in obtaining a video feed of today's press conference, contact the good folks in Hammond in the back there. So, Coach, why don't you get us started with an opening statement?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm just so happy for these young ladies. You know, Elisa's been here 4 years. Kai and Reina came back for a 5th year of basketball, and they came back for this reason, okay? They wanted to rewrite this chapter from a year ago, and this is a great start. So we're excited about that. You know, can't say enough about Notre Dame. Man, are they going to be good for a while. A lot of young players that are really tough. And, you know, we were fortunate there. We had some players here make some unbelievable plays down the stretch to find a way to win the game, and that's what they've done their whole careers at NC State. Couldn't be prouder of them. And, again, we're excited about taking another step, you know, and like I said, rewriting the chapter from a year ago.
Thank you, Coach. If you have a question, raise your hand, and we'll wait for a wireless mic. Please, we'll go over down here.
This question's for Kai. You played the entire game, came up with some big defensive stops in the fourth quarter and some baskets. It seemed like more so than ever you were just like, I'm not losing this game. I'm super determined. What was your mindset throughout the entire contest?
I mean, you said it, Coach said it. As seniors and, you know, as a 5th-year senior, we were determined to get over that hump. We wanted it more, and we, you know, did the best we could, and we came out on top.
Pat, go ahead.
Rob from the Associated Press. Reina, can you describe what you saw on that last play with the steal and then being able to hit those free throws in that clutch situation?
Yeah, she turned her back. The ball was still stuck on her hip, and so I went for it, got the steal, made the layup, and then those free throws. I mean, we practice free throws every day in practice, and we're always in tough situations, and so I just knocked them down.
Right here, go ahead.
I'll ask this question to Elisa. Congratulations, first and foremost, on making it to the Elite Eight. But how did you guys keep your composure, you know, throughout most of the game where it felt like you guys were being outplayed, but, you know, you kept fighting and you kept keeping yourselves in the game and gave yourselves a chance to win in the end, and it worked out for you. How did you guys keep that composure throughout the second half?
I mean, like Reina said, we've been in these situations before. We've had some games this season we've been down in the first half and even towards the end of the game. So we knew what we were capable of, and we just had confidence in each other, and we all just kept on reminding each other, take it one step at a time, like get one stop and then push it and focus on the little things.
Todd Gibson, CBS 17 out of Raleigh. Kai, just the senior element to this team, do you think that helped down the road, late in the game to get you guys to this victory?
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, can you hear me? Yeah, for sure. I would say that, like Lee said, everyone said, we've been in this position before. With that experience, as the previous question, we were able to stay composed. And, I mean, countless times I will bet on my team no matter what, hands down.
Hi, Katie Barnes, ESPN, right here. Hello. I know, it's hard to tell. For any of you or all of you, you know, a couple times in the game you were cutting into the lead, you were getting close, couldn't quite tie, couldn't quite get over the hump or take the lead until the very end. So from your perspective, what shifted in the last couple of minutes of the game that allowed you to like really cut into that lead and ultimately come out victorious?
I think we knew that we kept getting close, and then we would make a mistake, like a turnover or a bad pass, or we wouldn't get a defensive stop. And so I think we just kept telling ourselves we can get those defensive stops to keep getting closer. And then I think towards the end we just had great defensive possessions, and then we were scoring on the other end too. We started to attack and learned what they were doing on screens. They got us a couple turnovers. So just figuring that out and then being able to come back.
Right here in front.
I don't know if I can't remember if you started the game on Miles. She had a big first half, but did you ask Coach, can I switch and get on her? And what did you kind of do to kind of slow her down? She finished with 21, but she had 15 in the first half. So what did you kind of do to make things challenging for her later in the game?
It's just a matchup thing. We had to adapt with how they were playing the pick on ball, and in the long run, we got the hang of it, I guess. We played it good enough for us to come out on top, and I say, just relying on the help side as well and making sure I beat her on the opposite side of the screen.
Alexa, go ahead.
Alexa Philippou, ESPN. Raina, as you guys are cutting into their lead down the stretch in timeouts, what was said to try and keep the group together and to ensure that you guys would be able to be focused and get the stops you needed to cut back into the lead?
We didn't want to go home. I mean, we didn't want the same results as last year, and so we all just stuck together and reminded each other, like, hey, like, we got to get this one. We got to get some stops, and we got to score on the other end. And so just reminding each other that we didn't want to go home and that we needed to win this game.
Right here in front, then we'll go to Katie.
Alex Sawyer with Pack Pride. Elisa, you guys call her Clutchfield, but how much does the energy she brought in the fourth quarter, getting those steals, getting an and-one opportunity early, kind of sparked the whole team there for that comeback?
It was huge, when she got the M1, you saw the energy from like the bench and just us, and like we knew we could actually do it, and I think her defensive ability, like I'm sitting back and I'm just watching her work, like watching her get the steals and taking it. So I think what Kai's been able to do for this program, like defensively, offensively, and just as a leader, is just exceptional.
Katie.
Hi, me again, Katie Barnes, ESPN. Of course, Raina steal and then finish gave you the lead. But for you all, what do you think was the most important play of the game that kind of turned the tide in your favor?
I think it was Kai's M1, honestly. I don't know if y'all think differently.
Thanks.
Because, like, when she got that, we were all so hype, and I think, like, we really started to, like, bring it together as a team. Yeah.
We have about 4 more minutes with the student athletes. Go ahead.
Melissa, this is questions for you. You made a lot of clutch free throws, and then there was that one shot that you missed. what was going through your mind when you missed that one shot?
I mean, honestly, I was just like calm on the free throw line. I just left it short, and so as soon as I did, we got into the timeout, and so I knew that we were just gonna have to get a stop, and we were gonna have to play defense. And Coach Moore like trusted us to play defense. We didn't really start fouling, and we got the steal. So after I missed it, I was just like, well, that's behind me now, and then let's go get a steal on defense.
Okay, we're going to take a question from our Zoom crowd. Chantel from The Athletic, you are active. Go ahead.
Thank you. My question's for Raina. Raina, on the broadcast the other day, you were talking about how you were in. Sorry, is the audio weird?
A little choppy.
Try again.
Sorry, I'm getting feedback. On the broadcast the other day, they were talking about how you first got the call from NCAA, screened the call, and it was your brother who convinced you to call them back. I was curious what you remember about that call and why you decided to call them.
Coach Moore had left the voicemail, and my brother listened to it, and he was basically like, yeah, you should call him back. Like, I think they had just been previously ranked number 8 in the nation, and so I was like, oh, okay, like, yeah, for sure, I'm going to call him back. And then I realized, like, their point guard had just graduated, so I was like, oh, yeah, this is a great opportunity for me. Like, what am I doing? And so, yeah, I remember majority of that conversation.
We have about 3 minutes left. Go ahead.
You guys were asked earlier when the momentum shifted. From my seat, it seemed like when KJ went down, it seemed like you guys had an extra pep in your step. You started making a little bit more hustle plays. In the back of your mind, were you guys thinking, like, we can't let her go out like she went out last year watching. We got to keep playing hard until she gets back in here. Or if she doesn't come back, we still got to win for her. Did that ever cross your mind when she went to the back for a little while for any player?
Yeah.
Okay. You got it?
Go ahead, Kai.
Yeah, it did. It was kind of like a flashback in a way, but I knew that our team wasn't going to, I guess, in the sense, like, let her down. And I know I wasn't going to let her down. I'm sure these two could say the same thing. And prayers up. Hopefully, she'll be back for the next game, but it's already written, and I trust in God.
Just got time for 1 or 2 more. Go ahead, right here on the right.
Ben Pickman, Sports Illustrated. This is for really any of you guys. 3 years in a row now, you had come up short in the Sweet 16. Just simply put, like, what does it mean for you now to know that you're going to the Elite 8?
I mean, it's like one of our goals for this year, you know, and so I think the whole game we were all thinking like we don't want it to happen what we did last year. Like, I remember saying at halftime, I was like, we're kind of playing right now like we don't remember like the upset we had last year. Like we weren't playing with enough toughness. So I think it was really in our minds like this whole year and especially that game. And so we wanted to come out here, we wanted to go past the Sweet 16, and here we are. And we had to work hard for it, but we're here.
Last question right here.
Hi, all. Congratulations on the win. This is Jackie Powell with Bleacher Report. And this could be for any of you. I'm curious how emotionally you get through a game where maybe you start with a little bit less energy. Who or what is the catalyst that brings you to the finish line, where you're at right now?
I would say probably KJ, but I mean, it's honestly all of us. All of us just remind each other, like, hey, like, we're starting slow. We need to pick it up. We need to get together. We need to, like, run the sets and play defense. And so I would just say everyone on the team kind of just talks and reminds everyone, like, hey, we need to get it together and toughen up.
All right, thank you very much. You can take off, go back to the locker room. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll be joined here by Coach Moore for about 10 minutes. Anybody has a question for Coach Moore, go ahead and put your hand up. We'll get started with Katie right here.
Hi, Coach. You know, about 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. You're down 1, and you have no fouls.
Yeah.
So what was your strategy and how to manage the end of that game in that situation?
Yeah, you know, we were trying to debate. There was 35 seconds left in the game and the 30-second shot clock. You know, could we foul, you know, enough times to make them shoot a free throw? We just felt like it was going to be really hard. And so we decided to just try to deny the pass in, you know, man on the ball, help deny it in. Once they got it in, if we had an opportunity, let's trap it and just fly around. And we didn't have to worry about fouling, okay? We got plenty of those. So, but we were very fortunate. What can you say about Raina? I mean, you know, Beyonce's big, but Raina blows her away, you know? I mean, come on. 2 years in a row. Last year she hits the jumper to win the ACC tournament. Now this year she picks, you know, gets the pick there when it looked pretty, it looked like it was going to be pretty hard. Unbelievable. But the whole team, just so proud of them.
Right here on the left, Coach.
Yeah, we talked to the players about this, but Kai's energy, especially on the defensive end in that fourth quarter, just how much does that mean to the team when you're trying to come back in a game like this?
Yeah, you know, I'm hard on Kai. If you haven't noticed, she has a whole lot of God-given talent and ability. I just think she, you know, her ceiling is so high. And so I'm hard on her. But you know what? She stepped up and made some unbelievable plays there. And I do think between, you know, not maybe just the and one, just the steals that she made and were able to turn the tide were, you know, that's what got us back in the game and gave us a chance. And then Raina was the cherry on top, you know.
Right here.
And I don't want to forget about Elisa either, okay? I mean, she went out there, 18 points and 10 boards. You know, she's been that way for us for 4 years. So don't want to let her get lost in the shuffle either. Unbelievable game against, I think Dotson is just a great player. And she had her way with us last time. And Elisa this time was able to more than hold her own.
Good.
Coach, every good team has a player who accepts their role. Obviously, we saw today that Kat can score when the team needs it, but she's been known for her defensive ability. But she did it on both ends today. How did she buy into that role of being a defensive stopper, but then she can show up on the offensive side when you guys need her?
Yeah, you know, she, you know, that's how she got her name, you know, Clutchfield, whatever. Just seems like when you really need her to, she steps up and hits the big shot and makes the big play. And like I said, I'm so happy for her to stick around for the 5th year. Not many people can handle me for 5 years, so for her to stick around like she did, and her and KJ, and then of course Raina to opt to come back also. I'm just so happy for those kids because this is why they came back. This is why they came back, and for them to be rewarded is just unbelievable.
Right here in the middle, then we'll go to Marvin.
Coach, congratulations on getting to the Elite Eight. Was there ever any doubt throughout that game, especially at halftime, down by 8? You were down by double digits a couple times. Was there ever any doubt? And if there wasn't, what is it about this team that gave you that confidence that they were going to find a way to pull this out?
Yeah, you know what? I'm normally, a worrier and, can get down. But, I just felt like they maybe hung their heads a little bit in the first half and maybe even at halftime. And I just had to remind them. I mean, we've been down so many times, and they always find a way to get it done. And we've come too far. And so, I believe we could get it done without a doubt because of those young ladies. But I knew it'd be hard because I got a lot of respect for Coach Ivy and Notre Dame. They got a great team over there. So I knew they were playing really well. That's what I had to remind our team. In the second quarter, they shot 77% from the field, 80% from the three. I had to remind them, first of all, we got to guard better. Second of all, I don't think they're going to keep that up for the entire game. And we got to make sure we're ready when our opportunity comes to turn the tide. And boy, they did.
Marvin and then Alexa.
Marvin Chambers, 4.0 Sports Media. Coach, the game plan earlier was trying to get the ball to listen down on the blocks, but it was real physical for down low, and then you start kicking the ball out to Kyle. When did you start changing and making adjustment as the game went on?
Yeah, I think more of the players just read the D, and we got 2 fouls on Dotson in the first half, and I thought that was really big. Of course, then they went to zone, and that kind of made it a little tougher for us to get the ball to Elisa. Thought they did a good job there, but we always want to work inside out. But with these guards we have, every one of them can knock down threes, and again, Kyle always seems to do it at the most opportune time. So I think just that. I think Elisa realized that they were really focused on her, and so she made the decision to kick it out. Sometimes too much. Have to remind her, you're not a point guard. We need you to score. But, in the end, it was a pretty good decision.
Got about 4 minutes with Coach. Alexa, go ahead.
Alexa Philippi with ESPN. Coach, yesterday Elisa was saying that the focus going into this season was to improve on the defensive end because you guys were always a great offensive team and you wanted to be both. And so for you guys to be able to get over the hump and win with your defense in the fourth quarter, where have you seen the most growth on that area of the floor, I guess, from last season to this season, either individually or collectively, and what does it kind of mean to be able to do it with your defense?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it helps having veterans. They've been through the prep. We came over here this morning at 6:30 and did our normal walkthrough and shoot around. And as a coach, you're really debating, is this very smart, making these kids get up this early? But it just seems like when we do, they're a little bit more locked in. But I think that just the experience and, they made plays. I can't take any credit for that. Kai made a couple of huge plays. Raina obviously made a big play. Now, everybody was just, flying around. We got a couple of turnovers off the press that I thought were big. My staff reminded me, let's use that a little bit. So it's just a combination. But, I couldn't be prouder. They scored 63 points today, and they scored, 108 in their last game. I'd say defense won this game without a doubt. So a lot of credit goes to them for – you got to be tough. I mean, it's when they got so many weapons, and we still, we were going to try to slow Miles down. Boy, we slowed her down, 21 points, right? But, again, they found a way to get stops when they had to and make different people shoot the ball when they had to, too. I thought that was big. Try to get it out of Miles' hands some.
Back left, Coach.
Hi, Coach. Charlotte Keller with The Athletic. What about Raina's film from Cal State Fullerton really kind of appealed to you and you knew she would be a good fit with you?
Yeah, we did. We got so lucky, so fortunate. We thought on film she had wiggle. I mean, she could make things happen and create things, but we didn't have any clue what we were getting. Obviously, she was Player of the Year in that conference, and her team finished 6th in the league. That tells you something right there. How often does that happen? But just the way she came in, as you mentioned, we lost point guard. We had everybody else back. It could have been tough. She just fit right in like she had been here for 4 years. Unbelievable kid, personality, and then obviously, that show Everybody Loves Raymond. It's now Everybody Loves Raina. Okay, it's going to be a series for a long time. Okay, just unbelievable.
Doug, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Doug Feinberg, the AP. Congrats on the win. You talked about what it means for the team to get over the hump, but what does it mean for you to get to the Elite Eight with this group?
That feels pretty good to me too, man. Because, when I go into every game and I'm so nervous and stressed because I don't want to be the reason that they lose, I don't want to be the reason they lose. And I'm not the reason we win. They make the plays. They make the shots. They grab the rebounds. But, for this group, it would have been hard for me to face the fact that they all came back and we still didn't get over the hump. So that makes me feel really good and so excited for our program to do this kind of breakthrough. Took a while, 4 years of the Sweet 16 to get through that wall. But it's all, again, those players. Those players are special. I wish y'all could see it the way it is in Raleigh now. We went out to dinner the night before our Kansas State game, and we walked out of the restaurant. The whole restaurant stood and cheered for them. Pretty awesome.
Over there on the right, Coach.
JJ Post, The Observer. Coach, before you got the turnover, the steal, you had a couple of inbounds where you really had Notre Dame frustrated. Obviously, you had a lot of time to talk over on the initial timeout and also the review on the ball out of bounds. Did you focus more on getting the steal after they got the ball in bounds, or were you more focused on, clogging up those inbounds, making sure they couldn't get the inbound off?
We were trying for whatever we could get. We obviously wanted to make it tough for them to get it in. We kind of missed the chance, I think, on about the second or third one. They threw it into the corner, and it would have been a great opportunity for us to trap it right there. We didn't quite rotate and make that happen. But I'll be honest, we don't work on that stuff enough, and they just went out there and made plays, and just got after it and competed. And, that's what it takes. It takes energy. It takes urgency. And that can cover up, even a coach that makes mistakes, they can still cover that up.
All right, I think we're going to have one more question from the Zoom crowd. Lawrence Davis, you are live. Go ahead.
Hey, Coach, good game. I just wanted to ask, after an emotional roller coaster win like today, how do you get your team to recover and focus on the game?
Recovering from this game?
Yes.
All right, the great thing is, like I said, we got them up at about, 5-something. They're going to relax the rest of this day. Obviously we'll be ready, but the rest of this day is their day. And obviously the coaches, we've already started preparing. We'll have to wait and see who wins this next game, and we'll put the finishing touches on the scout, on the film. And then tomorrow, luckily we don't have to go real early. We can get them rested and have a full day tomorrow. And then the good thing, Monday, the game's at 7 o'clock, so shoot-around won't be at, 7:30 in the morning, I can promise that, or whatever, 6:30 in the morning, excuse me. So this is going to be good to give them some recovery time. That's the only good thing about playing at 11:30. Now you got plenty of time. We can enjoy this for a few hours and try to take one more step.
All right, thanks, everybody. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
We'll be joined by Notre Dame in a few moments.